Hello, and welcome back to our Modern Classroom Introduction. This is part two. Yay! All right, let's pick up where we left off in the last video. So we're talking about the tracker, right? So this tracker shows where everyone is every day, and we're going to pull it up at the beginning of every class, and you'll also have access to it on Google Classroom. And on it, it tells you what lesson you should be working on. You'll notice that the lessons are also marked whether they are a must do with a single exclamation point, a should do with two exclamation points, and then a aspire to, which will be three exclamation points. If your name is highlighted in yellow, it means that you need to revise. And revising is an important part of the modern classroom. So, on your work, your goal is really to learn the material as best you can. It is always okay to revise any of your work. So, the first priority is to turn in work completed to the best of your ability. So, try not to turn in incomplete work. If you do turn in incomplete work or you really struggle on an assignment, know that I will give you feedback and then I will ask you to revise and resubmit. And that's okay. After you've done your revisions, hopefully you'll be at mastery and ready to move on. Now, what about those mastery checks I mentioned? So, mastery checks are always taken on your own. When you're ready for a mastery check, meaning you've finished all of the components of a lesson, you'll let me know and I can unlock or give you access to the mastery check on Classroom. They are not considered open notes and they're not something you share with anyone else. If for any reason the mastery check doesn't go as planned, that's okay. I will review that mastery check with you, and then you'll take a different mastery check that covers the same skill until you show mastery. Our goal here is for you to practice until you get it. If that takes one try or three tries, that's okay. We'll get it together and you'll move on to the next lesson. All right. How do you keep track of where you are as you're working through all of your work? Well, you're going to have what we call your scrolling lesson guide. And this is a Google Doc. Everyone has their own copy, and it shows you exactly what you're working on and the order the lesson should be done. And as you complete a lesson, you're going to highlight in your rolling lesson guide everything you've completed. This lets you keep track of where you are, and it also lets me know where you are. When you finished all the assignments in a lesson and you're ready to take your mastery check, you will submit your lesson organizer. And as far as the highlighting color, use the color you like best. All right, as we're working in class, what if you need help? Well, first, you can absolutely phone a friend. It's okay to ask someone in the classroom with you, or if you're virtual, to ask a friend at that's in our Zoom with you. We can put together breakout rooms so you can get together and talk. You can absolutely ask for other students' help. We have a whole class full of different kinds of experts. If you need help that you think goes beyond what a friend can help you with, then you can ask me. I love to help and answer questions. So, what we're going to do, since I have some school kids in school and some kids at home, we're going to use a Padlet that's called I'm Raising My Hand. So, you'll just click on the Padlet, it's linked at the top of Google Classroom, and you'll post your name. And they'll just pop up right in order, and then I can go through and answer questions in the order that people raise their hand. So it's like our virtual hand raise. This is a good way for me to keep track and make sure I don't miss anyone's questions because sometimes they may pop up in chat or you have the little hand raised on your Zoom and I don't see it. So I'm hoping this will help us all get our questions answered and help us all keep moving on together. Another question you may have is about due dates. So, what do I mean when I say pace, like the pacing tracker? So, first of all, you might be listed as on pace. So, the on pace lesson is a lesson that I think you should probably be working on based on how long the activity typically lasts. So, I usually give you an idea. Lesson one should take us about 3 days so you can budget your time. So, that is on pace. You might be listed as behind pace. Behind pace doesn't mean you're behind in life. It means you're just working on an earlier lesson. Maybe you needed more practice or you wanted to finish an aspire to lesson, so that's okay. And you might be ahead of pace. Ahead of pace means that you have finished the on pace lesson and the mastery check, and you moved on to further lessons. Anyone in class can be at any place at any time. So there may be days where you're on pace, there may be days where you're ahead of pace, there may be days you're a little behind pace. That's okay. That's the goal of a self paced classroom. You are where you need to be for your learning. There are some firm due dates, so things like summary checks, where we put all of our lessons together, those have specific dates that will be posted, and all lessons have to be turned in by that date. And that includes every must do that is part of the summary check. So those will be posted ahead of time, and so you'll know when you need to make sure you have turned in your assignments by their deadline. If you have any other questions about our mastery classroom and how things are going to move forward, you'll have a chance to ask them